West has largely laughed off threats from rogue nation North Korea, but what if these threats are not idle? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we are continuing our war series by asking what would happen if Kim Jong-un attacked the US now. It's been a busy few months for North Korea. They have threatened Guam and then backed down. They have launched an intercontinental ballistic missile over the Japanese island of Hokkaido. They appear to have circulated images of their egotistical leader Kim Jong-un inspecting a hydrogen bomb. To the outside world, it certainly seems as if North Korea is preparing for war. It is estimated that North Korea has around 14 to 21 nuclear warheads and a number of intercontinental ballistic missiles that are capable of carrying them, the most powerful of which being the Hwasong-14, which could in theory deliver a nuclear warhead 10,400 kilometers away. There have also been some speculations that the dictator may want to explode an H-bomb over the US via satellite, which does sound crazy, but in theory, it is possible if a device was hidden in a satellite. This has resulted in calls for North Korea's two satellites, KMS-3 and KMS-4, to be banned from flying over US airspace. So, say North Korea, against their better judgment, decided to launch an attack today. What would they do, and where would they strike? For all his sins, Kim Jong-un is probably not an idiot. Even he must know that if he were to strike any allied nation to the United States or any of the United States soil, he would be met with full force. If he launched a missile and it made contact with allied soil, it would be a suicide move. Therefore, you could speculate that if he launches one, he may as well launch them all. So far, it has been sketchy as to whether North Korea have successfully been able to miniaturize their nuclear warheads and attach them to their intercontinental ballistic missiles. But, say they can, I would imagine they would use their shots to hit Japan, South Korea, Australia, Guam, Hawaii, California, Alaska, and maybe even Oregon. French officials are also concerned that their IBMs can reach France, so if assured destruction is crazy old Kim's game, then he'll maybe give that a go too. If by some far-fetched stretch of the truth he was able to hide a hydrogen bomb in a satellite, he would send his biggest, most powerful and destructive weapon towards the center of the United States to assume as much damage as possible. Of course, if North Korea launched their hits, it does not mean that they would be successful. So far, tests haven't exactly been on target, but if they were able to make it, South Korea and Japan have missile defense systems in place to shoot down any North Korean threat. Japan has its Aegis system and South Korea has THAAD, built by its American allies, both of which share tracking data with one another. There are also Patriot battery systems set up around North Korea. These were used in the Iraq and Gulf War and can take down missiles flying at 5 times the speed of sound. The issue with an unannounced attack would be scrabbling the response. THAAD and Aegis are all ready to go, but how would we ever know about an H-bomb in a satellite until it was far too late? If a hydrogen weapon was detonated over the United States, it could kill millions of people and destroy cities, which would be horrifying and devastating, and the fallout could very much poison much of America and perhaps even Canada or Mexico, depending on where it was dropped. To be honest though, by the time North Korea advances enough to be able to disguise the bomb in a satellite, America will probably have banned all of their aircrafts from entering US airspace with the threat of shooting down any errant satellites, which is well within the capabilities of the US Navy. Of course, if North Korea ever did launch an attack, the response would be intense. Many innocent North Korean lives would be lost, although that would be considered to be on Kim. The issue would be trying to strike North Korea without harming the Japanese, South Koreans, and Chinese, who all share close proximity to the Hermit Nation. This could mean an unprecedented death toll, and it could be extremely damaging for world politics. An attack would force America's hand to respond, but in responding, they would create further tension in the East, possibly provoking China and Russia. And of course, tension breeds violence, which then breeds even more tension. It's a vicious cycle. The question of this episode has been what would happen if Kim Jong-un attacked us now, but this assumes that North Korea is ready to attack. For now, the evidence seems to suggest that they're probably not yet well equipped to carry out their threats. That being said, the question could easily be what will happen when Kim Jong-un attacks us, and we know now what the answer will look like. But let's hope they're dealt with before any bloodshed or nuclear decimation. Fingers crossed. China, their only mates, pretty much need to step up their intervention game. So thank you guys for tuning into this episode episode of Life's Biggest Questions. What do you think would happen if Kim Jong-un attacked us right now? Let me know in the comments section down below. Have you guys watched our Why Don't We Just Nuke North Korea video? If you haven't, it may give you some further insight into the issue. Do make sure you have notifications turned on if you don't want to miss a future episode. I'm Rebecca Felgate, I'll catch you guys in the next episode, but for now, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.